Tickler.
Hi.
Nice to
Hello.
see you today.
Good to see you too. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Just so everybody knows, my name is Taryn Daly, and radio.com, we are doing a Fandemic question and answer with the one, the only Taylor Momsen from the Pretty Reckless. So it's great to see you. You look beautiful. You don't look like you've been in quarantine. You look gorgeous.
Oh, thank you. You look beautiful too.
Well, it was funny. I thought I'd do my makeup today because of this, and I couldn't find my mascara. So I got a little bit of makeup on and no mascara. So that's how we're doing things here today.
Well, you've got the dark eyelashes. It looks like you're wearing mascara anyway.
Oh, well, thank you so much. Well, we really appreciate you being a part of this wonderful Fandemic question and answer today. We have some amazing interview questions that have come from some of your biggest fans from all across the globe. So if you don't mind, maybe we could just dive right in. First of all, the new song, Death by Rock and Roll, I think we're all pumping it. We're all loving it. And it was something we all, I think, needed just to, kind of elevate our spirits during these unprecedented times. So first and foremost, thank you for the new music.
Well, thank you for listening.
Absolutely. So I guess to start off, one question I would like to know the answer to is, we've seen you do a lot of pretty amazing covers. One that, in particular really stands out to me was Halfway There with Matt Cameron, who I know you guys have been working on all of the new material. Who would you someday like to hear cover one of your songs?
Oh, man, that's a good question. I'd have to think about that for a minute. See, I'm real bad at the spontaneous thing. I'm like, I mean, anyone. I think it's anytime you see fan covers online and stuff, it's so cool just to see that something I wrote for myself in my bedroom is suddenly reaching people and they're learning it and singing along and learning to play it. And I've seen it's been really cool seeing, cause I'm not on tour, unfortunately, so I can spend time on the phone, and I've been seeing, so many Death by Rock and Roll guitar covers from fans and stuff. And that's awesome. I love seeing that. I love, if we can inspire you to pick up an instrument, totally.
Absolutely.
I don't think I have a good answer, but I'm going to say all the fans. Those are the best covers.
Well, shout out to all the fans who are cranking out those Pretty Reckless covers. Maybe, who knows, maybe there's a ukulele cover out there or something like that we got to check out. So,
exactly.
Yeah. So I know we're all missing live music. It's a, leaving a void in our hearts right now that we know we'll get to fill someday. So when we are allowed to go back out to a music festival, which music festival would be on the very top of the list of stages that you would like to play?
Oh man, all of them. All of them. I mean, we had some really great touring lined up for this summer. I mean, from Rock on the Range to BFD to Rock and Ring, Rock and Park in Germany. I mean, we were getting psyched to go out into the world again. And obviously this has slowed that down and put a giant pause on everything. So one day, we're just waiting. Nothing's actually canceled. That's how I'm looking at it. Everything's just pushed. It's just postponed. So, we will rock again.
Yes, we will. We will continue to wait patiently, and we are excited to see you on those big stages very soon. I do have a question from Music Lover 09 on the Instagram, who wants to know, what is something that catches your eye about a fan in a huge crowd of fans while you're playing a concert? What would draw you to a specific fan?
Well, I'm kind of blind, so I really I can't see very well, and I don't wear contacts. I sometimes wear my glasses when I'm just really exhausted, but I've decided that the world looks a little bit better blurry, so I can't see too far. So it's really a sea of people, but I think up close it's enthusiasm. I mean, when you see someone just really into what you're doing and rocking out that's who you want to play to, is people who are really into it,
That's got to be pretty wild to be looking out there and seeing someone singing every lyric that you ever penned. That's got to be a pretty cool feeling.
It's insane. I'll never forget the first time that happened. I mean, it happens reoccurringly now, but the very first time we were playing a show at Notting Hills Arts Club in London, and it was our first show. We didn't know anything, and it was what the response was going to be, and the record had just come out, and they knew every word to every song, and they were so loud. They were louder than the PA system. The band couldn't get loud. They were, and it was mind-blowingly cool. And now to go back to your other question, nudity. if you take your tits out for the lads, I'm noticing you. And the ladies.
That's so fantastic. Love it. So with the, this is another question. This is coming from Cherry Haycraft. And Cherry would like to know, with the previous 3 albums you guys released, they all kind of had their own themes and concepts. What kinds of themes or concepts can we be expecting from Death by Rock and Roll?
Well, I don't want to give too much away yet, but if the title's any indication, there you go.
Maybe some death, maybe some rock and roll.
Maybe a little bit of both, a lot of bit of both. It was, I mean, we went through some kind of hard times for a few years here, and the making of this record was really, and the writing of it and the making of this was really kind of the culmination of all of that, all of everything we went through. So it's all really all in there in the music and the songs and the lyrics, and I'm just excited for people to hear it and see what everyone else thinks, because I love it. I think this is like, it very much feels like a rebirth for us. It feels like the first record again, in a sense of that we put so much into it. We put everything we had into this record. So it's it feels like I don't know, the Pretty Reckless 2.0. It feels like in my opinion, our best work yet.
That sounds magical. We cannot wait. We're so excited. Kind of on the same lines as songwriting and, you know, all of your wonderful creative energy, Aline Wonderland wants to know if you have any songs that are yet to be finished, if you have something that's sitting on the shelf that you might come back to someday.
There's always stuff sitting on the shelf that you might come back to one day. So the answer is yes, but I've got lots of things up my non-sleeves right now, so you just got to stay tuned.
I love it. Another question, there were a few people that were curious about your non-musical art forms, and maybe painting and sculpting and other things that you're into as far as creating and expressing what's inside.
Well, we kind of just named them, painting and sculpting, and I do a lot with charcoals. I'm actually out of art supplies right now. I need to order some stuff for more quarantine art world. But aside from that, I mean, I don't have a ton of hobbies. I'm actually pretty boring. I pretty much just listen to music, play music. Like quarantine, I've just been playing guitar kind of nonstop. That's been my whole thing. I love, now that the weather's getting nice, I'm looking forward to like going kayaking and getting outside a little bit. I love water. I love the water. I love to swim. So that'll be nice.
Heck yes, we're all about that. Another question, this comes from TPR Hungary, and they want to know if you have any advice for women who maybe are struggling a little bit with their own identity, if they're, you know, feeling a little bit bummed out about themselves and you know, looking for that inspiration or that boost. What would your advice be for women that are, you know, feeling those kinds of feelings? I
think the first thing I'd say is stop comparing yourself to anyone. Like, stop looking at whoever, because everyone does that. Everyone, you know, looks at someone else and goes, I don't look like that, or I can't do that, or I can't whatever. The thing I've learned in self-improvement is stop looking at the outside world and at other people. Simply focus on yourself and bettering yourself, because if you only focus on you, that's going to make you feel better. Like, your, you know, inner beauty, outer beauty, all that comes from what you put into, what you feed your brain with and what you feed your mind with and your energy. So like, focus on the things that you're in control of, and stop looking at the outside world, and hopefully that will, and allow yourself to have a bad day. Everyone has bad days. I have days where I wake up and I feel awful and I just want to get back in bed and cry. Like, everyone has those days, and accept them and go, you know what, tomorrow's gonna be better. Like, that's what I try to self-focus. That's what I'd say.
Yeah, and since we all are kind of cooped up more so than usual right now, I think it's a great time to be, you know, trying to work on yourself and to be loving yourself. So thank you for those words. That's super inspirational.
It's not always easy. Like, I'm quarantined and I'm trying to work out, and at the beginning of quarantine, I had it. It was like routine, got it. Man, inspiration is dwindling. Like, the motivation to do it now is just slowly going. So you just got to keep pushing yourself.
Yeah, it's okay to start fresh. I mean, I'm doing the same thing, where there's some days that I'm eating healthy, and then other days I had a handful of Whoppers for breakfast, you know? Like, exactly. We have our good days and our bad days.
Exactly. You gotta do what your body's telling you.
Yes. So we got another question from Amber BP. she would like to know if you have ever used any past songs for inspiration for new ones, and maybe an example of that.
Yeah, well, I mean, every time you start writing, you inevitably, there's always kind of leftover songs from the previous record that didn't make the record. You maybe didn't finish them, they didn't quite work yet. So I think when you start writing a new record, you always look backwards, and sometimes that can lead to something new. Sometimes it's just, most of the time, you kind of just leave it where it was. It didn't make the record for a reason. But in the case of Death by Rock and Roll, that song actually was a demo that Ben had made years ago, of just like a verse and a verse chorus. Like, it wasn't a finished song yet. And after we went through a lot in the past few years, after all that had started to settle, that song came back around, and the concept of finishing that, and that line being so kind of powerful, that it really spurred the direction of this whole record. And so we actually revisited that song. I finished writing it, and we recorded it, and that is now what you hear, Death by Rock and Roll. It's a song 10 years in the making.
Love it. Absolutely love it. Question comes from XX Reckless Momsen XX. How's the band doing? How's everybody doing? How are you guys keeping in touch? Are you missing each other?
It's a love-hate relationship. No, I'm kidding. No, we're all good. I mean, we're all quarantined separately, but we're all in the same area. So hopefully we're waiting for this to calm down at least a little bit more so we can finally see each other. I want to be able to get to the place where the four of us can be in a room together so we can start playing again, because we're just really miss playing. And I think that I can speak for everyone and say that that's what we're looking forward to the most right now, is just start small, just the four of us. We'll be good.
Yeah. Question from Piano Guy 41. Have you considered making the Death by Rock and Roll video an animated video?
Yes. I don't want to get too detailed. We're actually in the process of working on visuals, which has been a bit of a struggle from quarantine. We're trying to figure it out. We're trying to adapt to the times. But visuals for Death by Rock and Roll are coming. So just stay tuned.
Yeah. We are pumped. On Twitter, I think it's Asazel133 wants to know, what do you love most about yourself?
Oh, God. I never think like that, so I don't know. I think I'm kind. I think I'm genuinely a kind person, and I think that that's a really good quality to have. Like, I genuinely care about people.
Yeah.
That's probably my best qualities.
That's awesome. I love that. Everybody, we should all do what we can to be kind to others, especially during the current state of things. And everybody.
And all the time. Just,
yes.
Spread love. Like, everyone stop hating. It's all peace and love, man. Peace, love, and rock and roll.
True story. Let's see. Beatrice asks, Stratocaster or Telecaster?
Oh, the never-ending question. That never has a good response. I mean, I've been playing a lot of acoustic recently because of quarantine, but I don't know. I've got a beautiful Strat and I have a beautiful Telly. I don't know. I flip flop. Depends on the song. How about that? Depends
sure.
on the tone of the song. Because, they sound different.
Actually, this is a great question to follow up with from James. When you go on tour next, will you be playing more guitar? And what tunings do you like to play when you play guitar?
I haven't gotten super fancy with the tunings yet. That's what quarantine's actually been really good for me, because I've been practicing a ton. Whereas, like, I'm not a great guitar player by any means. I use guitar as a tool. I'm a singer-songwriter, guitar player. But yes, I'll be playing more at the live shows and stuff, because I'm finally having the time, nothing else to do but play.
Yeah. And we got another question about, if you could go back in time and tell your past self one thing, what would you go back and what would you say?
I would say, hold on. Let me think about that for a second. I would say you're going to doubt yourself a lot. And every time you doubt yourself, go with your gut, because you're going to be right. I
love that.
Because every time
the gut is always right.
Yeah. Every time I get swayed in some sort of direction that isn't what my initial instinct is, generally look back and go, I wish I had listened to myself. So trust yourself.
For sure. Asazel wants to know if you believe in romance.
Of course I believe in romance. Romance can't be dead. It's like rock and roll. It never goes away. It just might be a little harder to find here and there.
Yes. We also got a question from Ryan DIC, who wants to know about your time at London Bridge Studios and spending time in Seattle.
It was awesome. It was awesome. I mean, I love Seattle. I love the whole energy of the city. Every time we come through Seattle on tour, it's one of my favorite places to stop. But we're always in and out so quickly. So it was really great to get to go and actually spend some time there and be like a tourist for a minute and, you know, see Mopop and, you know, we went to Pike's Place and, you know, all that stuff, Space Needle. But then, you know, the reason we were there and the real kicker of all of it that was amazing was getting to record at London Bridge Studios with Matt Cameron and Kim Thale of Soundgarden for our new album. And it's for a song called Only Love Can Save Me Now. And it was just such an incredible experience. I mean, to be able to walk into that studio with so much history. I mean, from Pearl Jam's 10 to Soundgarden's Louder Than Love, and just see all the records on the wall and, you know, all the, you know, walls, buildings, places have memories. And when you walk in, you can really feel that energy. And so it was really cool to not only record there, but to record there with the musicians who had previously made that place historic. So it was very, very surreal and an amazing experience that, you know, a highlight in my life for sure.
Love it. I also saw a question come through the comment section on the Instagram right now, and someone wanted to know what your advice would be to a 16-year-old girl who wants to become a rock star.
Practice would be number one. Practice a ton, and realize that it's a lot of fun. It's great. It's the best job in the world. I'm not going to say it's not. But it is a lot of work. It's not everything it's not what you see in the movies. There's a lot of behind the scenes that you might want to take into account. So I always say to anyone who's young and wants to get into music in general, if you have interest in anything else, if you want to be a doctor, but you also like playing guitar, be a doctor. Like if music isn't that your live all be all, I'm going to die if I don't do this, don't do it, because it really takes sacrifice and it takes everything that you are and everything that you have, and it's a lot of work. But if that's your goal and that's your identity, then just go for it.
Awesome. A couple other questions. I keep seeing people saying, when are you going to come to Japan and when are you going to come to Poland? Maybe you could just tell us what has been one of your favorite places to play and what's a place you have not played yet that you look forward to playing when we're on the other side of the coronavirus.
Oh man, it's an impossible question. I mean, playing everywhere, like getting to travel the world and play to so many different audiences everywhere is so incredible. I mean, Japan was amazing. Every time we go to Europe, it's fantastic. I mean, Paris, South America is amazing, and the fans down there are just insane. We haven't been to New Zealand, which I would love to go to New Zealand. So that's on my bucket list. And Hawaii, because who doesn't want to play a show in Hawaii?
Yes, please. Yes, please. We can get that person that's going to cover Death by Rock and Roll on the ukulele to come play in Hawaii with you.
Yeah, exactly, right? It'll be perfect.
Someone asked if you could describe Death by Rock and Roll in 3 words.
Rock and roll. I don't know.
I love it.
Or out my way. Out my way. I don't know. All right, that was 2. Next.
Richard asked, what inspired Waiting for a Friend?
Oh God, that's like going back in time. I mean, I think every song's very personal, so they stem from wherever I kind of am mentally at the time that song was written, and I don't know if I could actually go back in time right now. That it would take some thought. I'm so entrenched in the new album to actually think of where I was at that moment in time. But I clearly was feeling a little lonely.
Yeah, we've all been there, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And another question about the new album. Someone wants to know if you can tell us how many songs are going to be on the new album.
There are 12 songs on the new record. Yeah.
And are they played in any specific order? Did you very carefully select which order the songs were going to go in?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. I would say even more so than I always say, like, the track listing to me on albums is very important. And all our records, I always say you should listen to from front to back because they'll take you on some sort of journey because the track listing is important. This record in particular, the track listing is super important. Death by Rock and Roll, the first single, is the first song on the record. That's intentional. So it really is a record it will take you on a journey, and you can hopefully kind of follow this story. And it's a ride. It's a roller coaster ride.
We are so pumped. It's going to be like it's like waiting for Christmas. We are so excited. So thanks for all the teasing. You're just building up all this great excitement.
I can't really say too much yet. It's hard to talk about music before it's out. I always say it's hard to talk about music in general because there's some quote is talking about music is like dancing about architecture. Like, it's meant to be listened to and felt. So speaking about it, I always find is a bit of a challenge, but it's certainly hard to talk about it when no one's heard it yet. So just stay tuned. It's coming.
And even, looking at where everybody's, tuned in right now from, I mean, we've got people from all over the world. And there was a question that just came up that said, do you speak any other languages?
I mean, very little bits of like hello. I can pretty much say hello and thank you and every place in languages of everywhere we've been, but that's about it. That's
yes.
Bonjour, au revoir, hello, goodbye, merci, thank you. But no, I can't speak any other language fluently. It'd be something to learn though. I wish I could.
Yeah, I feel I keep hearing about.
Maybe I got the time.
Yes.
Now. I do have a lot of
time to learn.
I have a lot of Spanish friends, so maybe I'll start picking it up. I'll have them teach me.
For sure. Another question is, what was it like working with Maria Brink and Lizzie Hale?
It was great. I mean, they're awesome. Maria called me up and said, hey, I have this idea. Want to cover Queen? And I went, well, I love Queen, so why not? And she sent over the song, and I come in there on the third verse, and there you have it. It's pretty cool.
Yes, and I love seeing women working together in the rock community. I mean, it's obviously a little bit dominated by the guys, so it's nice to see the women come together and lift each other up and, do things together.
Of course. I mean, you got to support one another. There's no benefit in tearing people down. It doesn't benefit you. It doesn't, it just puts negativity into the world, and we got enough of that. Just be positive. I'm all about positivity.
Yes.
Positivity.
Another question is about your quarantine wardrobe. What is a typical quarantine wardrobe looking like for you these days? Is it a hoodie? Is it sweatpants? Are you ever wearing jeans? What are you wearing every day?
I haven't put on proper pants since the photo shoot in New York, which was right before. Which I guess I'm not wearing pants in that photo shoot either, but you know what I mean. So it's pajama pants, sweatpants, black t-shirts, hoodies, black tank tops. It's a uniform of comfort.
Absolutely. I think the black tank top is like my number one most prized possession right now. That's what I'm living in.
Yeah, I got a cool one. I got the Soundgarden one on.
Oh yeah, I love that. That's awesome. I have some weird cross thing.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
But yeah, black is my favorite color, so I gotta rock it.
It goes with everything.
Yeah, absolutely. The Warrior wants to know if you love Slipknot.
I think Slipknot are really cool. We've played with them a bunch on multiple festivals over the years, and they put on a hell of a show, man. If you haven't seen it, it's certainly something to see.
The first time I saw Slipknot, I think my jaw was on the floor for the entire time. So you're absolutely right about that.
It's crazy. Yeah. They do it's a whole world unto itself.
Oh, yes. We're also being asked about your dog. How is your dog doing? And have you considered adopting any other animals?
She's doing all right. She's cute as hell still, and the sweetest of sweets, but she is getting up there in age. She recently injured her arm. She did some weird contorting, twisting move trying to dance to music or something. I don't know. So she's got a little bit of a limp going on. I have to kind of carry her everywhere as it slowly heals. But other than that, she's doing all right. She's just getting she still looks like a teeny tiny puppy. She's getting up there. She's 14 now. Oh
my gosh, that is awesome. I hope my dogs live to be at least 14. That would be a true blessing.
I know, and she's had a wonderful life, so that's that I can say. And she's still
and does she love that you're home more now than probably ever before?
Of course. I was actually joking about that the other day. I was like, Puddle's the one who lucked out in all of this. And she's like, Mommy didn't leave. Mommy,
yeah, I think all the animals are probably like, when do you guys go back to work? Don't ever go back to work. We love this. Extra pets, more treats, all that extra attention.
Exactly. Oh, and she's getting so spoiled with the treats. I just started putting peanut butter in yogurt because she's injured, so I feel bad. And I don't even know if she's still injured. I think she might be milking it. Just the Mom, with the little paw. It hurts, Mom.
That is so precious. Well, I love it. I know we're just about out of time, but we have had some incredible questions from fans from all over the world. Thank you for spending some time with us today, Taylor. The Pretty Reckless has a totally kick-ass new song out right now. I'm assuming everybody on this thread has already seen it, heard it. It's Death by Rock and Roll. Anything else you want to tell us about the new record, before we say goodbye to you today, that could just get us even a little bit more pumped than we already are?
I don't know. Just if you like Death by Rock and Roll, I can tell you it really is just the tip of the iceberg. Like, there's something for everyone on this album. So I know I'm just saying stay tuned, but really stay tuned because we're super excited about it. And I hope you guys are too.
We sure are, Taylor. Thank you so much. Taylor Momsen, The Pretty Reckless. My name is Taryn Daly for radio.com. We so appreciate your time. Enjoy the rest of your time at home with the pup, and we look forward to seeing you out on the road sooner rather than later.
Hopefully, yes. Thank you so much. And thanks
Bye, Taylor.
For asking questions. All right. Bye, guys. Stay safe. Rock and roll.
Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, make sure to like and subscribe and hit that bell for all notifications from radio.com. While you're at it, why don't you check out some of our other great videos.